Okay, it's been a while since I've done this, a solo Blitzkrieg Commander Battle Report. See how this goes. I want to use the table that McMurray and I just used for Chain of Command before I tear it down and get the next map up for Blitzkrieg Commander Solo. So basically I'm going to use every stand as a squad, which I know drives some people crazy, but each stand of 2 guys is a squad. I've got 3 squads attacking French. It's about 1,500. I don't usually do points, but just so you kind of know, it's about 1,500 points against about almost 1,000. Probably should be more than that. They should probably have about 1,800, but we'll see what happens. They have some artillery. I have some reconnaissance. I'm doing flank deployment. So these tanks, Panzer IIIs, and this squad or this platoon will flank somehow. I'm going to try that because I haven't done a whole lot of that. The French have a couple of pre-registered artillery points here and here. And then the French have a platoon here, a platoon there. They have a platoon coming on, a platoon of tanks. I keep having to remember what these are. 35s. These are just not going to use those. A mortar. They have some off-board 75s. The Germans have off-board 105s. And then these guys will come on Char B1 and Somoise. Still learning all that. There's a machine gun up here. And the machine gun, since he's on the 2nd floor, can see the whole board here, except for if you're up against the, an obstacle. I'm going to try this. So when you play Blitzkrieg Commander, it's in centimeters, so everything moves in, like infantry moves 10 centimeters each activation. And its default is that each stand is a platoon. Okay. And that works. I've played it so many games that way. I've tried this a couple times. I'm going to try it again where when I'm playing it, when this is a squad level, because they say you can do that, but they don't change anything in it. But I want to change it to inches, which makes a huge difference. And so the game will be played quite differently, obviously. So the range is 30 inches and not 30 centimeters. So 30 centimeters would be basically out to there. 30 inches is out to there. So we'll see how it goes. It makes it just a little bit more, it seems like you should change some measurements or something. Anyway, so that's that. I don't know how many turns, 8 to 12. Basically, the Germans have to get 25% of their dudes off the board, because they're attacking in France, and the French have to stop that. I need to figure out what 25% is so I know how many units that is. And I actually should probably get a couple more trucks because these trucks are only supposed to carry 2 units. So they're there. So I need to get another one for this. And they have a 7.7 centimeter infantry gun, a machine gun, and a mortar. They probably really need a little bit more of this kind of stuff to kind of really lay down fire. But I don't have it. Let's see what happens. I'll let you know. I'll be back. All right, into turn 3. Into turn 3. I would say I'm not sure who's winning this, but I need to remember at the Germans, I need to get 5 units off the board, and I remembered that. I thought, well, just rush. These guys have gotten in flank. I thought, get in flank, go up there. I would take a command roll of -2, so for them it would be a 6 or less. They'd get on and go off the board, and I thought, well, that's kind of cheeseball. I got to read those rules again. I should have done it before I made this video, but instead, so I'm saying you got to go off the road. So they're going to go off the road. And then, so I'm saying off, I was on Not Jay's Chronicles there today earlier. So I actually probably needed to silence him so you don't hear him. Anywho, so the Germans are getting whittled down here. Let's see the losses so far. I don't think the trucks count towards the break point, but you got the 3 guys off here. Those guys aren't off, so I haven't lost any French yet, actually. So I've said, because they could flank and go right there, I said, you got to get off that board. The French kept these guys back there, and then they got tired of it and moved up. I've been whittling this back here. I should have just tried to clear a route and just drove up there. So these tanks should really just come on and go. Just haul. They can't opportunity fire. And I think they have a minimum shoot range, actually. I need to check that too. So they could just go bloop right around. That'd be 2 units off the board, and they just need to get 3 more off. And I might as well put the troops over there too. But anywho, I'm having to not, and my artillery guy for the Germans, nothing's calling in. He cannot get anybody to call in here. I should zoom in over here. This guy cannot get anybody to call in. They're like, nah, we don't want to do that. This guy's suppressed because these guys just laid waste. They can't destroy him, but they can suppress him. I've lost my machine gun. Infantry gun's taking hits. That guy's taking hits. The tanks are starting to fire on him. So anyway, I'm going to say the French are winning this one because it's a German. I need to remember. Do that. All right. Let me go see about flanking and how that works. This is pretty much the name of the game here. German broken unit. Or destroyed, broken, whatever units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 units destroyed to the French 2. Forget those. French 2 units destroyed. So they have a break point of 8. I'm at 10, so that means I have to -2 off a command roll at the very beginning of the German next turn to see if they're able to make it. I rolled a 4 plus 2 is 6, so they're under their 9, so they're good. I think I'm going to call it here, though. The moral of the story is the Germans should have had double the defenders units, and I was very shy of that. I was 400 points shy of that, and I should have done it. That would have been, so I kind of figured out that would have been the equivalent of getting 4 more tanks and 4 more stonks of artillery. So, not stonks, but 4 more guns or batteries or whatever of artillery. That would have helped dislodge people, get them out of these dug-in positions. I had Ryaki, which was good, but I really need more heavy firepower to get there and break these guys out so the infantry could go up. And also, the Germans only had to get 4 units off the board, off that table edge. I misinterpreted one of the rules, flank deployment. It's where you have this third of the table, this third, and that third, and it's to deploy on this side is regular command roll, to deploy on this side is a -1, and deploy on that side is -2 command roll. Well, there's also a rule that I missed that says you can't deploy within the defender's deployment zone, which makes sense. So they're halfway through. So really the only place they could deploy, well, really mainly on this side, but they could do, since it's half, they would be able to do in half of that deployment. So they could have done it like about in this area instead of like that area. Instead of the whole fenced area, they could have done like half the area because that's half the board. Well, I'd kind of planned on them coming here, and then I was like, oh, they can't do that. So I don't know. I kind of messed that up a little bit as a German, but I don't think that's what hurt me. What hurt me is I did not have enough units because, these guys are trying to attack there. These guys are trying to attack these positions, and they don't have enough firepower to dislodge them and even suppress them. Because, here you have to roll a 6 to hit them. In the building, you have to roll a 6 to hit them, and they get a 5 save. These guys are 6 and a 5 as well. In this building, I said these aren't stone. I said these are stone, at least. And so they saved on a 5 as well. I said those guys saved on a 5. Those guys might have saved on a 6. And these guys saved on a 5 because that's obviously at a brick building. Well, it's hard to dislodge. You got to hit on a 6. That's 1 in a 6 chance. And then you get a save on a 5. Well, that's, it's pretty good. First of all, because you're not going to get that many hits, and it seems like you often save. And then you have to roll a 6 to suppress them. So, and that's really all you need. You just need them suppressed. And that's a tough thing about Blitzkrieg Commander, Flames of War. Getting people in buildings is tough to get them to suppress and not be there for you. So, did have some fun, though. Had some Somois and some, these guys came out in ambush, but then they started getting flanked by these Germans. So they did get flanked by them. That was fun. There was a German unit here that got wiped out by artillery. The artillery finally landed. I lost this recce to the Sharby and Somois in initiative fire. This mortar help take out those guys. That machine gun up there, the artillery observer up here. Another thing the Germans should have done, probably use a couple of their tubes for smoke. So lay down artillery and then lay down smoke, The recce did a pretty decent job. Yeah, I don't know. So I think there's some of the, and I just kind of designed this on the whim. So I would say that's kind of how that turned out. So Blitzkrieg Commander, had a good time. Just needed to design a better scenario. We'll see it.